The silent watchers, the observation deck of the Nexus Coalition station, hung suspended in the void between galaxies, its crystalline walls offering a perfect view of the spiral arms that housed countless civilizations. Commander Viex of the Thraxian Empire stood motionless, his 6 eyes focused on the holographic display showing a small blue planet in the outer rim of the Milky Way. Another primitive world shows signs of rapid advancement, Viex reported to the assembled council. His voice carried the mechanical precision that his species was known for throughout the Coalition. The Thraxians had evolved beyond biological limitations centuries ago, replacing their organic parts with superior mechanical components. High Chancellor Zephyr of the Ethereal Collective materialized beside him, her form shifting between states of matter like liquid starlight. "How rapid?" she asked, her voice echoing from multiple dimensions simultaneously. VX manipulated the holographic controls with surgical precision. In their terms, they call the planet Earth 200 of their years ago. They traveled using animals. 50 years ago, they split the atom. 20 years ago, they reached their moon. Now, they speak of visiting other worlds in their system. A deep rumble emanated from the corner of the chamber where General Korith of the Stone Clan rested. The massive being was easily 3 meters tall, his body composed of living rock that had witnessed the birth and death of stars. "Such acceleration is unprecedented among primitive species," he said, each word deliberate and weighted. "Our monitoring protocols suggest this rate of advancement appears once every 10 million cycles." Dr. Nelia of the Mindweavers stepped forward, her translucent body pulsing with bioluminescent thoughts. As the Coalition's leading expert in primitive species psychology, her analysis carried significant weight in these discussions. "More concerning than their technological growth is their psychological profile," she said, projecting images of human warfare throughout history. "They demonstrate extraordinary resilience under pressure. When faced with extinction-level events, they adapt rather than surrender. This pattern appears consistently across their entire evolutionary timeline." The holographic display shifted to show various scenes from Earth's history. Humans surviving ice ages, rebuilding after natural disasters, recovering from devastating wars. Each image showed the same pattern: humans facing impossible odds and finding ways to overcome them. Ambassador Flux of the Energy Consortium crackled with electrical concern. "Their energy signatures are increasing exponentially. At current rates, they will achieve faster than light travel within 50 of their years. Once they reach the stars, containment becomes impossible." Viex nodded grimly. "Which brings us to the reason for this emergency session. The monitoring protocol has been in effect for 12 of their years. In that time, they have exceeded every projection we made about their advancement rate. They are not following normal, primitive species development patterns." High Chancellor Zephyr's form solidified into a more humanoid shape as she addressed the council. "The Nexus Coalition has overseen galactic peace for over 40,000 standard years. We have encountered 732 primitive species in that time. Of those, 51 showed rapid advancement patterns. We implemented Containment Protocol 7 on each of them. None survived to threaten galactic stability." The chamber fell silent, except for the low hum of the station's power systems. Containment Protocol 7 was not discussed lightly. It meant the complete elimination of a species before they could become a galactic threat. "The humans show unprecedented learning capabilities," Dr. Nelia continued, her bioluminescent thoughts casting eerie shadows on the walls. They reverse engineer captured technology within months rather than decades. They adapt military strategies in real time during conflicts. Most disturbing, they seem to grow stronger when faced with existential threats rather than weaker. General Korath's massive form shifted, causing vibrations throughout the station. The Stone Clan remembers the Vanguard War 3,000 cycles ago. One aggressive species nearly destroyed half the galaxy before we stopped them. The humans show similar patterns of rapid militarization and territorial expansion. VX brought up tactical displays showing Earth's military capabilities. Current assessment shows primitive nuclear weapons, basic orbital technology, and localized communication networks. However, their advancement curve suggests they will achieve energy, weapons, quantum computing, and interstellar communication within 2 decades. What is their population? Asked Chancellor Zephyr. Approximately 8 billion individuals distributed across their planet's landmasses, Viex replied. They have established permanent settlements in hostile environments, including underwater cities, Arctic research stations, and orbital facilities. Ambassador Flux's electrical form intensified. 8 billion of a species that grows stronger under pressure. If even a fraction survive initial containment, the remaining population could become exponentially more dangerous. Dr. Nilia's analysis continued. Psychological profiles indicate humans possess unique traits not seen in other species. They form emotional bonds that override survival instincts. They will sacrifice themselves for genetic non-relatives. They create art and music even during warfare. These behaviors suggest a species with unprecedented psychological resilience. The evidence was overwhelming. Every member of the coalition had studied the data, run the projections, and reached the same conclusion. The humans represented a potential threat that could destabilize galactic civilization if allowed to continue their current development trajectory. High Chancellor, Zepho called for the formal vote. All in favor of implementing containment protocol. 7 on the species designated as humans from the planet Earth. Asterisk, 1 by 1, each representative of the 8 coalition species cast their vote. The Thraxians voted yes, based on technological threat assessment. The Ethereal Collective voted yes, based on energy projection models. The Stone Clan voted yes, based on historical precedent. The Mindweavers voted yes, based on psychological analysis. The Energy Consortium voted yes, based on resource competition projections. The remaining 3 species, the Hive Collective, the Void Touched, and the Crystal Builders, all voted in favor. The decision was unanimous. Humanity would be eliminated. Protocol 7 will commence in 72 standard hours, announced. Viex, the Thraxian Empire, will provide the primary assault fleet. Coalition forces will maintain orbital blockade to prevent any escape attempts. Standard sterilization procedures will be followed. Complete elimination of all population centers. Destruction of industrial capability and biological weapon deployment to eliminate survivors. As the Council dispersed, none of them noticed the small quantum fluctuation in their communication array, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean on Earth. Dr. Alina Vasquez was conducting routine analysis of deep-sea electromagnetic anomalies when her instruments detected something impossible. Alina was a molecular biologist working at the Abyssal Research Station, humanity's most advanced underwater laboratory. At 30, she had already revolutionized understanding of extremophile organisms and their potential applications in biotechnology. Her work with creatures that thrived in impossible conditions had earned her recognition as one of Earth's leading experts in biological adaptation. "These readings can't be right," she muttered, adjusting her equipment. The electromagnetic signatures were too organized, too purposeful to be natural phenomena. They showed patterns that suggested artificial origin, but the source appeared to be located somewhere beyond Earth's solar system. Meanwhile, in the mountains of Colorado, Captain Jake Morrison was leading a joint military exercise when every communication device in the facility suddenly activated simultaneously. Morrison was a former Navy SEAL who had transitioned to training special forces in advanced warfare techniques. His experience in impossible situations had made him an expert in human adaptation under extreme stress. "Sir, we're receiving transmissions on frequencies we don't use," reported Sergeant Williams, staring at his equipment in confusion. "The signals are encoded, but the patterns are unlike anything in our databases." In the underground laboratories of CERN in Switzerland, Dr. Raj Patel was conducting quantum experiments when his equipment detected massive energy buildups in space around Earth. As one of the world's leading quantum physicists, Patel had been working on theoretical, faster-than-light communication systems. His instruments were among the few on Earth sensitive enough to detect the coalition fleet's approach. Asterisk. "The quantum field fluctuations are off the charts," Patel told his assistant. "Something is manipulating space-time on a massive scale in Earth's orbital zone. This technology is beyond anything we've theorized." None of the three scientists knew about the other's discoveries, but each was beginning to realize that Earth was not alone in the universe. More importantly, they were starting to understand that whatever was out there was not coming in peace. The coalition fleet assembled. In the shadow of Earth's moon, 200 ships from 8 different species, each one carrying weapons capable of sterilizing entire continents. The humans below continued their daily lives, unaware that their extinction had been decided by beings they had never met. Commander Viex reviewed the final strike plans aboard his flagship. The attack would begin with electromagnetic pulses to destroy Earth's communication and power infrastructure. Then orbital bombardment would eliminate major population centers. Finally, biological weapons tailored to human physiology would cleanse the planet of any survivors. "Begin Phase 1, Viex commanded. The first wave of ships decloaked around Earth, their weapons charging with energy that made stars look dim. On the surface, humans looked up at the night sky and saw lights that shouldn't exist. Some thought they were meteors. Others assumed they were satellites. None of them understood they were looking at their own funeral pyre. Dr. Vasquez watched from her underwater station as her instruments went wild. Captain Morrison saw his communication equipment die as electromagnetic pulses swept across the planet. Dr. Patel watched quantum readings spike beyond his instrument's ability to measure. And then the sky began to burn. The orbital bombardment started with New York City. In seconds, Manhattan Island was transformed into molten glass. London followed, then Tokyo, Beijing, Moscow, and every other major population center on the planet. The attack was precise, overwhelming, and merciless. But as the coalition fleet continued its methodical destruction of human civilization, they failed to notice something crucial. In deep ocean research stations, remote mountain laboratories, underground facilities, and Arctic outposts, humans were not dying. They were watching, learning, and adapting. The aliens had made their first mistake. They had underestimated humanity's ability to survive in impossible conditions. Their second mistake would be assuming that survival was all humans were capable of. In the depths of the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Elena Vasquez sealed her facility and began studying the wreckage of alien technology. that was falling into the deep ocean trenches. In the Colorado mountains, Captain Jake Morrison gathered survivors and began analyzing enemy tactics and weaknesses. In the ruins of CERN, Dr. Raj Patel worked frantically to understand the quantum signatures he was detecting from the alien fleet. The aliens thought they were implementing a simple extermination protocol. What they had actually done was provide humanity with the ultimate motivation for rapid advancement, survival of their entire species. The genocide had begun. But so had humanity's transformation into something the galaxy had never seen before. Asterisk, the monster they created 5 years had passed since the night the sky burned. Commander Vyeks stood in the same observation chamber where the decision to eliminate humanity had been made, but everything had changed. The holographic displays now showed red warning indicators across dozens of coalition worlds. His mechanical components had been upgraded 3 times to process the impossible data flowing in from across the galaxy. Report status, Vyeks commanded, though his voice now carried an undertone of something the Thraxians had not experienced in millennia fear. 73 coalition outposts have gone silent in the past standard month, reported Lieutenant Kex, his newer mechanical parts gleaming under the chamber's lights. In each case, the facilities were found completely empty. No signs of struggle, no bodies, no survivors. Everything valuable was removed with surgical precision. High Chancellor Zephyr materialized beside them, her usually stable form flickering with anxiety. The pattern is consistent across all coalition space. Advanced technology disappears, personnel vanish, and strange new ships are detected at the edge of sensor range before disappearing again. General Korath's massive stone form had developed visible cracks from stress. The Vanguard War lasted 50 cycles and cost us millions of lives. These attacks began only 2 years ago, and we have already lost more resources than in the first decade of that conflict. Dr. Nilia's bioluminescent thoughts pulsed erratically as she shared her analysis. The psychological profiles we are seeing do not match any known species. The attackers demonstrate perfect knowledge of our weaknesses, use our own technology against us, and seem to anticipate our strategies before we implement them. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the Abyssal Research Station had evolved into something that would have been unrecognizable to its original builders. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood in a laboratory that stretched 4 kilometers through underwater caves and artificially excavated tunnels. The facility now housed over 50,000 humans and hybrid human AI entities that existed in forms previous generations could never have imagined. Elena herself had changed dramatically. Her body had been enhanced with biological modifications derived from deep-sea creatures and alien technology. She could survive in environments that would instantly kill unmodified humans, process information at superhuman speeds, and interface directly with both human and alien computer systems. Status reports on the latest acquisition, Elena requested. From her enhanced team, the Ethereal Collective Research Station yielded significant advances in multidimensional physics, reported Dr. Chen, whose body had been modified to exist partially in quantum superposition. We now understand how they manipulate matter states. More importantly, we have improved their techniques by approximately 300% efficiency. Elena nodded with satisfaction. The humans had discovered something the aliens never expected. They were not just good at adapting alien technology, they were better at improving it. Every piece of coalition equipment they captured was reverse-engineered, enhanced, and turned into something more powerful than the original. Asterisk, what about the personnel from the station? Elena asked. Standard protocol was followed, Dr. Chen replied. Non-hostile individuals were relocated to sanctuary worlds. Those identified as directly involved in the Earth genocide have been transferred to the Justice Division. The Justice Division was Captain Jake Morrison's domain. The former Navy SEAL had built a network of enhanced human operatives who could infiltrate any coalition facility, extract any target, and disappear without leaving evidence of their presence. Morrison's base of operations was hidden within a network of quantum-shifted mountain caverns that existed slightly out of phase with normal reality. The technology that made this possible had been stolen from the void, touched and improved beyond their original specifications. Bring in the Thraxian commander, Morrison ordered his team. The prisoner was a high-ranking Thraxian military officer who had participated in the orbital bombardment of Earth. Morrison studied the alien through eyes that had been enhanced with multispectrum vision and threat assessment algorithms. His body had been modified for combat efficiency, making him faster than any known species, stronger than coalition battle armor, and capable of surviving in environments that would destroy most military equipment. Commander Vortex of the 3rd Assault Fleet, Morrison said, reading from the alien's extracted files. You personally directed the bombardment of the African continent. Estimated casualties, 400 million humans. The Thraxian's mechanical components whirred as he processed the human's words. The containment protocol was approved by unanimous coalition vote. Our actions were legally sanctioned under galactic law. Morrison smiled, an expression that had become terrifying to coalition personnel. Galactic law? You mean the laws written by species who appointed themselves rulers of the galaxy? Laws that say primitives like humans don't deserve to exist if you find us inconvenient. Your species demonstrated aggressive expansion patterns, Vortex replied. Historical precedent required preventive action. Historical precedent, Morrison repeated. You destroyed our civilization based on what you thought we might do someday. Well, Commander, let me show you what we actually became. Morrison activated a holographic display showing coalition losses over the past 3 years. Hundreds of facilities captured or destroyed, thousands of personnel missing, entire fleets vanishing without sending distress signals. This is what happens when you try to exterminate a species that gets stronger under pressure, Morrison explained. Every human you killed was someone's child, parent, or partner. You gave 8 billion humans personal reasons to hate you. Then you gave the survivors 5 years to prepare. The display shifted to show human strike teams in action. Enhanced. Humans moving through coalition facilities like phantoms, their modified bodies allowing them to survive in vacuum, resist energy weapons, and interface with any technology they encountered. The beautiful part, Morrison continued, is that we learned everything from you. Your technology, your tactics, your weaknesses. But we didn't just copy what you taught us. We made it better. Meanwhile, in a research facility that existed in folded space-time, Dr. Raj Patel had achieved breakthroughs that redefined physics itself. The quantum physicist had spent 5 years studying coalition technology and had discovered something remarkable. The aliens' understanding of quantum mechanics was fundamentally limited by their evolutionary biases. The coalition species all evolved on stable worlds with predictable physical laws, Patel explained to his team of enhanced researchers. They never developed the intuitive understanding of chaos and adaptation that humans possess. When we take their quantum technology and apply human chaos theory, the results exceed their best achievements by orders of magnitude. Patel's latest creation was a device that could manipulate the quantum foam underlying reality itself. With it, Humans could phase matter in and out of existence, travel instantaneously across galactic distances, and exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "Sir, we are receiving reports from all operational theaters," announced Dr. Singh, whose consciousness now existed as a hybrid of human intuition and quantum computing. "Phase 1 of the reclamation protocol is complete." Patel nodded. The reclamation protocol was humanity's master plan. Phase 1 had involved capturing enough coalition technology and personnel to understand their capabilities completely. Phase 2 would demonstrate to the galaxy that humanity was no longer the species that could be casually exterminated. Back on the coalition station, emergency alerts continued flooding in from across their territory. Commander Viex was beginning to understand the magnitude of their miscalculation. "The human survivors have formed a coordinated resistance network," he reported to the Emergency Council session. "Their technology now exceeds our own in multiple categories. Their military capabilities are beyond our current ability to counter." Ambassador Flux crackled with electrical distress. "How is this possible? We eliminated 99% of their population. The survivors should have been reduced to primitive subsistence." Dr. Nilia's analysis painted a terrifying picture. "We underestimated their psychological resilience completely. Instead of breaking them, the genocide unified them around a single purpose. They have become a species entirely focused on our destruction." "More troubling," added General Koreth, "they are not simply seeking revenge. Their actions demonstrate strategic thinking on a scale we have never encountered. They are systematically dismantling coalition infrastructure while simultaneously advancing their own capabilities." High Chancellor Zephyr's form was barely maintaining coherence. "What are you saying?" "I am saying," Viex replied with mechanical precision, "that we have created exactly what we feared. The humans are no longer a potential threat to galactic stability. They have become an actual threat to our continued existence." The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. For 40,000 years, the Nexus Coalition had maintained peace by eliminating potential threats before they could develop. It had been a successful strategy that preserved galactic civilization. But now they faced a species that had been forged in the fire of genocide into something beyond their ability to control or eliminate. On Earth, in a rebuilt facility that rose from the ruins of New York City, Elena Baskis, Jake Morrison, and Raj Patel stood together for the first time since the genocide began. Around them, holographic displays showed the current state of human civilization. The numbers were staggering. From less than 50 million survivors, humanity had grown to over 200 million through cloning, life extension, and reproductive enhancement. But more importantly, every single human now alive had been designed for a single purpose: to ensure that what happened to Earth never happened to any other world. "Phase 2 is ready for implementation," Alina reported. "Our bioweapons are specifically tailored to each coalition species. Deployment will result in complete population elimination within standard months." "Military assets are in position," Morrison added. "Enhanced human strike forces have infiltrated every major coalition facility. We can eliminate their command structure within hours of giving the order. Quantum disruption devices are prepared," Patel concluded. "We can collapse the quantum infrastructure that supports their faster-than-light communication and travel. They will be isolated and helpless." They stood in silence for a moment, contemplating the decision before them. They had the power to do to the Coalition exactly what the Coalition had tried to do to humanity: complete extinction. "The question," Alina said finally, "is whether we have become better than them or worse." Morrison's enhanced features hardened. They made their choice when they decided we didn't deserve to exist. Now they get to live with the consequences or die with them, Patel added grimly. Across the galaxy, coalition species were beginning to understand the true magnitude of their situation. The humans they had tried to eliminate as a precautionary measure had returned as an existential threat to every member of the coalition. The species that had once been contained to a single world now operated across hundreds of star systems with technology that made coalition achievements look primitive. But perhaps most terrifying of all was the realization that humanity was not simply seeking revenge. They were demonstrating the same strategic thinking that had led the coalition to attempt genocide in the first place. If humans had concluded that coalition species represented a threat to galactic peace, they now possessed the capability to implement their own version of Containment Protocol 7. The hunters had become the hunted. The genocide had failed not because it was incomplete, but because it had succeeded in creating exactly the monster the coalition had feared humanity might become. And now that monster was ready to show the galaxy what true apex predators looked like when they decided to hunt. Asterisk.